Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WCS America. Moonglade tapping those fingers on the desk. Both the players are ready. I'm hitting start game if that's okay with you. Of course, I'm Axel Toss, joined by Axlav, covering the first match of the night. Of course, Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam are here in studio. They're going to be jumping into the next match and casting some action, so definitely looking forward to that. But here we are in game number 3, where Ryung is up 2-0. He is 1 win away from advancing not only to Korea, but to the next round of WCS America.
Been a very hard-fought 2-0, though. Both those games down to the wire. Moonglade really stretching both the games out. You know what was interesting?
What was interesting?
The first game, I felt Moonglade was ahead in the mid-game, and Ryung clawed his way back.
Yeah,
the second
absolutely.
game, Ryung was way ahead in the mid-game,
Yep.
and Moonglade almost clawed his way back, bringing it to about the 40-minute mark in an extremely tense game, looking like he almost had the comeback going, but Ryung just kept macroing through on Whirlwind.
Trying to take a little breath here. I'm actually a little bit thankful for the early stages of the game where things are calm. Everyone's just mining, sending their scouts across the map. You can enjoy the nice STARCRAFT 2 music and the nice landscape of what is Star Station, the setting of our third game of this best of 3. The top left-hand location, we have the red Terran player representing Team Axiom and hailing from Korea. If he can win this game, he will book his ticket to the global season finals and, of course, advance to the next round, the round of 4 of WCS America finals. He is Ryung.
Very intense.
His opponent in the bottom right-hand location in the lobby chat, he said he needed the power of Sulky. Can he make it happen? Of course, for those of you who don't know the reference, WCS Korea finished up last night. Check out the box. He is your Bluezer player hailing from Australia and representing Team NV, trying to attempt the impossible. He must win 3 in a row to advance to the next round. He is Moonglade. I want hair like Moonglade.
He does have awesome hair. He also is a player who is not going to give up. Being down 2-0 is a very difficult situation. He has to win 3 in a row, but he's not a player who gets frustrated by it. Moonglade is one of the most even-minded players I've ever met. As far as some players, something bad happens, they make a mistake or they lose a game, they, especially a very closely fought game, they lose it, and it can get frustrating. They're like, I tried so hard, came just barely short, and they'll throw off their next game. Moonglade is not a player to be thrown off, and we actually see a divergence.
Whoa.
Getting this gas a little earlier. In the last games, he went gasless until he had 4 queens and a good amount of drones.
This makes sense, because it's Star Station. And when you think of Star Station, what do you think of, Mr. Nick?
I think of Reapers.
Yes.
This is Reaper Central here.
Yeah.
Of course, the reason why we say Star Station is a great map for the Reapers is because the Reaper can jump up and down cliffs.
Yes.
And this is one of the only maps where there's this gigantic cliff edge, and there's so many spots you can jump up into the main.
There's literally a Reaper pathway in every main base at the back. So yeah, not too surprising at all. Of course, Moonglade going for the early gas and pull just for the speed. I would be very surprised if he kept mining gas after 100. I think he just wants to get speed out so he can retake map control for the Reaper.
Reaper's trying to be annoying. Of course, the Reaper can outrun every Zerg unit until you get Zergling speed. So that's what we saw here. The Reaper can kite away from the Zergling's back away and get shots off using its range advantage and speed advantage.
Of course, we can see it's regenning that health. Some Zerg players will, make those drones into spore crawlers and cancel them later. There's Reaper hopping up and down, teasing those lings a little bit. But now the queens are getting on the field, so that's going to help quite a bit. One ling getting taken out. The Reaper's so low in health.
Man. One more queen shot. Actually, wouldn't have taken out at 9
left. Second Reaper coming forward. Yeah, that's 2 Reapers there. But speed is about halfway done.
Of course, Ryung double expanding behind us, but Moonglade has scouted this with the Overlord, so now he can make an informed decision to do one of 2 things. So you know what? I know he can't be super aggressive beyond some Hellion and Reaper harass, so I could play greedy. Or, you know what? I know his extra production is going to be late, so he could potentially go for a timing. If he wants to go for some type of timing attack, it would most likely be a Roach baiting, and we would have seen him get a second gas and probably put drones back on gas. So the fact that he's not doing that, he's building drones, indicates,
economic route for Mr. Moonglade. Not too surprising to see. I mean, again, people are going to look, who missed the games or something, and they're going to look at the results, and they're going to see, at least the first 2 games, 2-0. Again, Moonglade was so close to winning, he could have won those games. So, that makes me like I'm not surprised at all to see him take this economic route. He knows he can take Ryung on as the game goes later. He's not going to put his tournament hopes into some all-in that Ryung could potentially scout and end the game. Moonglade very confident in his late game play, which shows, just his level of play and his mentality coming into this game 3.
This is also a map that Moonglade's been very successful on.
That's true.
He did lose the map to Illusion in round 32 on this map, but he got significantly ahead. Now it's a very different game. He's playing like a massive Roach type style. And against, I believe it was the STC, he had an amazing game here. Maybe it was against Apocalypse. It was one of his round of 16 games where he just consistently was able to deny the Terran 4th base with the Ultralist. The 4th bases here are reasonably exposed, which is actually good for Zerg because Zerg wants those open areas for the engagements. It makes it easier for them to defend from a Terran pushing forward, and also makes it easier to get that Ultralist surround onto Planetary in the late game when you're trying to deny Terran bases.
So Ryung not trying to kill his opponent here, not like the Blue Flames, stockpile in game number 2. Just setting these Hellions and Reapers forward to be annoying toward that 3rd, but the main role here is to be annoying, right? Prevent that creep from getting spread. Try to take down some queens, but he's not trying to kill his opponent here. Look at that, taking down a creep tumor there. Every single creep tumor is so important. So Moonglade is going to have to focus on getting those creep tumors extended and out, but making sure the Hellions and Reapers don't inhibit that progress.
One important thing is notice how Moonglade was actually target firing Hellions in that battle. The Terran wants the Reapers to tank because they regenerate.
Yeah.
The Zerg wants to use the Queens to focus fire down those Hellions. That's exactly what Moonglade has been doing.
Looks like he has 1-1 on the way, Baneliness on the way, Lair on the way as well. Very standard play, still focusing on those drones again, realizing his opponent. Okay, he took a 3rd command center behind this. If I'm investing too much into units to deal with this, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because his economy is going to be soaring very soon. That being said, 3rd command center now being sent towards that 3rd base location here for Ryung. So really focusing on that economy, now adding on all his production facilities, going into Widowmine production 1-1, well underway on the bio. A very standard looking game going forward.
13 more drones in production. Lair is finishing up. Both players' upgrades are very, very even. Going forward, what we're going to see is a big theme of this is Moonglade trying to set up a 4th base once he has speed banings and maybe some Mutalists out to control the map. And Ryung's going to try to deny that 4th base, and one of the central elements in this process is the creep spread. Battles on creep are typically going to favor the Zerg with those speed banings being so much faster. Battles off creep, the Terran can split the Marines and kite a little bit more effectively.
Both these guys macroing up, playing very passive at this point, but for those of you who have been joining us the first 2 games, we know things can get very crazy very quickly for both sides. By the way, guys, remember to hashtag WCS when you tweet to get your tweet featured on stream, potentially. Of course, if it is a good tweet, it will likely go up there. Of course, join the conversation in the Twitch chat on Team Liquid on Reddit. Talk about these matches because this is a phenomenal tournament so far.
The drone.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor little guy. That's a rough way to go, too, being burnt alive.
And he was trying to make the gas to save himself.
Oh, very heads-up play by Ryung. In the last games, Ryung's 4th was significantly delayed by the creep there. Moonglade trying to do the same thing, but the Overlord being shooed away by Marines because Ryung knew that he had the map control with the Hellions at this point in the game.
Spire about to finish here for Moonglade. I don't think Ryung has necessarily identified this, though it's kind of something you can guess as we look at his vision here to see. Nope, he has not seen the Spire. Nice location there on the Spire, by the way. But, Ryung has been prepared in the past. He has Widowmines, he has Marines, so we'll have to see if Ryung sends these meters across the map and if he can get any damage done to the SCVs of his opponent.
Great creep spread from Moonglade. Ryung trying to slow it down with the Hellions, but Moonglade is very persistent. When the drone died trying to take that bottom 4th, he said, you know what? Let's just take the 4th on the right side. Both bases are equidistant from his opponent, so it's not too important. A lot of Zergs will actually take both so that if there's a timing where they don't really want to engage, they can afford to sacrifice one of those hatcheries and still have 4 mining bases.
We've seen that happen a lot, it seems like, in this series. Lots of guys willing to sacrifice bases to take other ones. Mutas are on the way. Ryung finally scouts this, going to retreat to his 3rd base. Turret's just now going down, so Ryung caught a little bit off guard by this. So let's see if Moonglade can get any damage done. Targeting down the supply depot, interestingly enough. If he goes straight to the main, he can get some SCV kills, but I guess thinking his opponent's just going to be ready.
I mean, normally there would be... Oh, denying the SCV building turret, getting a few more kills as well.
Be careful. Taking down that supply depot, going to back up. That was an interesting move. I'm a little bit wondering why he didn't go straight to that main.
I think he was afraid of being trapped.
Yeah.
This is a main where it's not super easy to escape, and he knew the mutas were spotted at the watchtower.
Sure.
So he assumed there'd be Marines there. He could have probably gotten a couple extra SCV kills, but it's going to work out okay. Now Ryung going for a big push here.
Oh, Muta's scaring me a little bit, running right over the army there of Ryung. Ryung coming forward again. Those Widow Mines are in effect. This is going to be so instrumental. Can Moonglade handle this cost efficiently? Sending some Banelings forward, trying to get those Widow Mines to deploy, sending another squadron up. Creep Tumor still being sure the Banelings coming for the Mutas from above as well, but Ryung has so much stuff. That wasn't the entire army for Moonglade. Again, trying to get those Widow Mines to go off, but honestly, I don't think many of them really did.
Moonglade now has 2-2. He has an upgrade advantage for this next engagement. That could be very key. Both players even with 1-1, but Ryung being a little bit slower with the 2-2 upgrades.
Lots of Banelings in production here for Moonglade. They're all getting finished up. When is he going to decide to go forward? Getting another Baneling shot forward, but Ryung continuing to kite away, continuing to split up those units, trying to tease his opponent coming forward, and Moonglade desperately looking for those Widow Mines. He finds some, remember, he still has some army back here, so don't be worried about him losing some units. And again, his 4th base is up, it's mining, but Ryung, being so cost efficient, once again has 3 bases behind this. I think he's going to set up that 4th fairly soon, and making sure to stay safe back home, leaving some units back there, and he's going to send them out to rendezvous here with this main army.
You can see how important the creep spread is. Ryung very apprehensive about engaging on creep. Moonglade apprehensive about pushing off the creep. All these creep tumors are trying to go down, but Moonglade's going to protect them.
Coming forward with the Banelings, trying to get those key shots, but not quite getting those detonation. More Lings, more Banelings coming forward. Moonglade terrified about those Widow Mines, and for a good reason, trying to encourage the friendly fire, but again, Ryung playing this so well, splitting up those units. Every single Marine has a mind of its own. That's how good Ryung is at controlling those guys, and again, staying close to those Widow Mines just in case. But look at those Baneling hits. Wow, very surprised by that. Moonglade is going to be happy with that connection.
A little bit of a missed look by Ryung. Didn't quite split his units up fast enough there. He's going to be forced back because he doesn't have enough Marines to continue the fight. If he tried to stay around, one more good engagement, he could lose all those very important units, the Widow Mines and the Medivacs. Now going to push on the left side, saying, you know what, I want to wait till the creep dissipates. Is Moonglade going to reestablish that creep above his 4th?
That Medivac very brave, sprinting right by the Mutas. Moonglade unable to spot that. Meanwhile, Ryung advancing towards the left side of the map. The Muta's going straight for this 4th, going to try to deny this command center from going down. I think he's going to be successful, but there's the scan from Ryung, advancing down to the bottom side of the map, looking for the army of Moonglade, but Moonglade sending his entire army up to the north, and Ryung has to make a decision. Does he retreat and help protect his infrastructure, help protect his initial 3 bases, or does he continue with the aggression?
Looks like he's going to back away here, saying, you know what, I delayed the 4th. No, the Muta's being drawn in.
Oh, you got to be careful. Trying to take down those Widow Mines. Moonglade backing up, handling this very nicely, taking down his opponent's 4th. Ryung again trying to be annoying with the drops. Moonglade has to be cautious of that, either with static defense or sending the Mutas to deal with the Medivacs. Focusing on those Mutas right now. +2 weapons attack on the way for the Mutas, and 7 more in production. No transition to Infestors, no transition to Hive, which means 3-3 is going to be very delayed, and 3-3 is already started here for Ryung. So Moonglade has a window here before 3-3 finishes from Ryung where he can get some great engagements. But until then, you know, once that 3-3 finishes, I'm going to be pretty scared for him.
Oh, catching a drop. That's a big move for Moonglade. Now he can use his entire force to take out this attack by Ryung. Ryung's army is not that big. He's going to have some massive Widow Mine connections to make this attack work.
Moonglade trying to split off some units again, does not know where those Widow Mines are, has to be very cautious. He knows how poorly this game has gone for him in that regard. Muta's going to be counterattacking across the map, and that's a lot of Mutas heading toward that 3rd base. Meanwhile, Moonglade posturing outside, again, trying to cut off those reinforcements. And by the way, he managed to get a Hive completed during that whole process. So +3 carapace is on the way. So it's not like he's going to have a you know, grossly inefficient upgrade you know, progress in this game, and he's going to continue being annoying with these Mutas. That's a lot of Mutas.
Only a single turret in the natural. SCVs have to evacuate, going straight for the orbital command.
Oh, there's also a drop there at the main base of Moonglade. The orbital is going to be vulnerable. The SCV is desperately trying to repair it. Now Moonglade has to decide, do I target that or do I target the SCVs? He's going to back away. A very solid defense there from Ryung.
Ryung identifying how Muta heavy Moonglade is, adding a Thor into the mix, now pushing towards the 4th base. So many Widow Mines are landed. The Marine count is small, but the Widow Mines could be instrumental. More
Banelings in production here. Moonglade needs perfect engagements here if he wants to take this out. Splitting those Lings up, running into his opponent's bio army, and the Widow Mines doing friendly fire to Ryung's army, and just like that, Ryung has essentially nothing left in the middle of the map here, and Moonglade storming through. He's going to clear all this up. He needs an Overseer, and the Overseer is there. Moonglade going to be super happy with that engagement.
A beautiful engagement by Moonglade. He also, Ryung just now realizing that 4th command center, the SCV was sniped about 2 minutes ago.
Oh no.
Just finishing it up right now. So the 4th has been significantly delayed. That's going to be lifted off. It's going to head towards the 4th base. Moonglade looking to harass again. He's checking for the 4th. Sees it's not there yet. He might swing around to the natural or just going to retreat.
Very tense game on our hands here. Again, if Ryung can win, he will advance to the round of 4, take home $7,000, 750 WCS points, and book that trip to Korea, annoying Widowmine in the middle of the map there. Ryung accumulating his forces once again, but 3-3 on the way. +3 flyer attacks on the way here from Moonglade. Ultra's Cavern, 4 Spine Crawlers, but he needs to keep that 5th alive. Gotta be careful with that, but if Moonglade commits too much down there, Ryung has a pretty big army that could just start posturing towards that 4th, so Moonglade still has to be very careful.
Moonglade is going to look to use the Mutas to keep his opponent on the defensive until he can get the key 3-3 upgrades and the Ultras out. Muta Ultras can be an effective combination.
Oh, Muta's sniping down a turret in a matter of seconds. Some Thors are here from Ryung, so Moonglade going to have to back away. And for the first time in the series, Moonglade is actually ahead in resources lost, by the way. Which is pretty interesting.
I love the extra spines by Moonglade, knowing that Ryung's drops have been effective throughout this series. The spines can really help buy time against him. Ryung trying to drop again to 4th base. Moonglade, so many units there in position, ready to defend it. Oh, Muta's been picking off a couple units.
Ryung always has to be careful about that Muta flock. It's nothing you can take lightly, especially with +3 air attacks about to finish. Moonglade has 37 Mutalisks. They're about to have +3, but Ryung, pretty formidable army here in the middle of the map.
The 4th of Ryung. There's nothing there. There's just a planetary. Mules are going to try to repair it. Some Marines come, but those Marines can be wiped out. A Thor here as well, but with plus...
Magic box. Yeah. There it is. Posturing over that Thor, minimizing its efficiency. Targeting down that planetary. Ryung sprinting back to try to deal with this, but can the planetary go down? That will be huge for Moonglade. He's going to get it. He's going to back away, only losing a few Mutas, but behind this, 4 Marines took out the 5th base of Moonglade, and these Marines still being so annoying at the Watchtower, finally going to get cleaned up. But Ryung can't be happy losing that 4th.
No, a base for a base always favors the player who has more bases.
Yes.
It's a very simple principle. Moonglade still has the 4th to mine from. Ryung's 3rd is about to be mined out. So right now it's 2 mining bases of Moonglade, a 3rd and a 4th versus 1 of Ryung. Ryung's going to try to, he's building 2 more command centers, so he knows he really needs to establish another base. More and more Ultras being added into Moonglade's composition. And this Muta flock is still very dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
2 Widow Mines.
It has +3 now.
Oh, he saw them. Luckily, 2 doesn't have no splash.
Oh!
There we go.
Ouch.
If you have enough Mutas to one-shot a Widowmine, we can see that our first Widowmine didn't get his attack off. Yeah. The second one did, but the Mutas will regen, so losing one Muta for 2 Widowmines, not too bad.
Moonglade setting up a 5th base back here at the top right, realizing, okay, I'm just going to try to take the right-hand side of the map, mixing in a lot of Ultras into this composition as well, and Pathogen Glands is on the way. Moonglade can make any amount of Infestors whenever he wants. The problem is, if it's a problem, a first world problem perhaps, he's mapped. So he can't add on Infestors just yet, but might try to look for an engagement. I see no reason not to. This is a very hard front to hit though, because you have to go up a ramp and there's like a long quarter leading up to it. So let's see if Moonglade tries to split up his units and come in from multiple locations.
Ryung, very tank heavy in this composition, which could be very useful against the banelings of Moonglade. Thors as well help out against the Mutas. Moonglade coming here again to the 3rd base, not too much to defend. Marines will get there in time.
Yeah, Moonglade at this point is okay trading units, but you'd never want to trade Mutas. Oh, gonna take out 2 straight tanks. Careful, the Thors are there. Back away. This is a very dangerous place to frolic around with Mutas, by the way.
Oh, it is. Moonglade's so happy about the regen against the Thors. Coming into the 4th base, but units are here to defend. He's got to be careful of those Widow Mines. The sensor tower has been so useful for Ryung, keeping track of where the Mutas are going to be.
Yeah, really cool move there. Oh my god!
That was a big hit.
A lot of Lings died. I'm assuming the Widowmine died, because I
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would love to.
Oh, Marauder taking a lot of baiting hits as well. Moonglade's force is getting a little bit smaller.
He can kind of afford that, I guess. He gets more Infestors out, which is nice. So I guess he doesn't care too much, but it's still a little bit annoying.
Moonglade was thinking of trying to do a big attack at the 4th base with the Ultras, but seeing the 4 missile turrets knowing the Mutas wouldn't be very useful in the battle. And Mutas
don't want to engage
gotta
Marines
be
and Thors. You got to be very careful with the Mutas. 7 more Mutas on the way, so it's not like he's trying to trade those guys out. Definitely realizes their importance. And look at this, Moonglade actually coming across the left here.
I think he's decided, you know what, I can let my opponent have the 4th, but I do want to deny the 5th. Heading here with the Ultras, Banings, and Infestors. Ryung has a few dropships of units, but not enough. Moonglade's going to try to distract. He's going to try to drag Ryung here. And then the Mutas can hit the 4th.
Can they though? There's like 6 turrets there. I guess we'll find out.
All the Widow Mines could be so dangerous.
Widow Mines too. Moonglade gonna try to engage us. I'm not sure about this decision. A very dangerous one indeed. Those Mutas getting very low on health. I like the idea, but it's just Ryung had too much defense there. Oh, a drop trying to happen at this 5th base. Infestors, don't overextend. You gotta get the Funkles down. Moonglade taking actually a lot of losses there. Losing 1 Infestor, not the biggest deal, but every Infestor is so important at this point in the game.
He was able to delay the 5th base of Ryung, but Ryung now moving out his whole army to attack the 4th of Moonglade.
Ryung realizing exactly where his opponent is, and more importantly, where his opponent isn't, and attacking that exposed base. This is one of the only mining bases at this point here for Moonglade as well, so we're trying to get to that point where, sure, Moonglade has a big bank right now, but going forward, these bases, it's very important you keep them alive. But the Muta's going to try to engage here, try to take down a Thor. There are plenty of Marines here going to back up. When is Moonglade going to try to engage that massive army? It's just very tentative right now.
It's such a tough call to make for Moonglade when to go in. He knows that one engagement could decide this battle. He's very, very patient here, but his 5th base is under fire by just a few Marines.
Ryung doing what he does best, splitting up those units, splitting up those groups of army, and trying to maximize his cost efficiency. We've seen this throughout this series, and so far it has worked remarkably. The hatchery does end up getting killed. The last bullet from that Marine was able to take it out, and Moonglade, he has to do something soon because he's going to be back down to 3 bases. He's not mining from this 4th base. Ryung setting up this expansion at the left, has an expansion at the top, and Moonglade, he's had a big bank. He's been looking for a good engagement, but just hasn't been confident enough to engage.
Ryung's forces are small, but they have the high ground. The tank's so instrumental in holding his position. This hatchery may go down. Ryung's going to focus it with this small force.
Drone's going to have to run, and Moonglade, he's not mining.
He's not mining. Ryung,
quite literally, he's not mining.
Ryung sending more and more units across the top. He says, you know what, I killed the hatchery, let's back away. Moonglade saying, you kill my base, I'm going to go for yours. This planetary, or it's not even a planetary, it's just a command center, it's going to go down.
All right, taking that out, SCV's running for their lives, but again, Ryung still has that base at the top side of the map. And 6 ultras in production here.
Oh, Moonglade's got to be careful. Does not want to engage here. The defenses are too strong for Ryung. Moonglade going to back away. He's retaking that base at the bottom. Long distance mining. Ryung mining off of 1 base at the top. Moonglade just on long distance mining, but he has enough money in the bank. Yeah. He's still okay. He's going to reestablish his space. It's going to be 4 bases to 4 bases. Ryung moving out very tank heavy.
Oh, the Mutas.
Oh!
He's going to go for it. Ultra's coming forward. Bane's going forward as well. Infester's looking for those bungles. The Mutas need to find those tanks. But look at the tanks doing so much damage to the Ultras and Baneling's Moonglade. Advancing up a corridor, always a dangerous proposition, especially against a tank-heavy Terran player. So Moonglade backing up, and that's the story of this game. Moonglade, he has the resources. He wants an engagement. He just can't find a good one.
Moonglade's trying to stall for enough time to get the Brood Lords out. Just trying to keep Ryung back. The Corruptors are almost finished. Greater Spire is done. Against a tank-heavy opponent, Brood Lords can be absolutely amazing, but Moonglade has to keep on to this 4th bottom base. He has to keep Ryung back until those Brood Lords can be transformed.
By the way, while this all was happening, 2 starports have been added on for Ryung. So it's not like we're going to have a situation where Ryung is going to be completely off guard by Brood Lords. He's predicted this already. He's predicted his opponent might make the Brood Lord tech switch, and he's right. So he's going to have 3 starports behind this, ready to make Vikings. Oh no, tanks are exposed. Great positioning here from Moonglade, taking a couple of those guys out, but advancing toward that 4th base. 5 Brood Lords about to finish though.
Oh, the tanks are trying to inch their way towards the 4th. The Brood Lords are being morphed shortly to the right. Moonglade may be forced to defend his hatchery before the Brood Lords come in.
You gotta get him over there. You gotta get him over there. You gotta protect that hatchery. He's lost the hatchery too many times so far in this game. Looks like he's gonna go for it. Ryung moving onto that hatchery for the start. Again, Moonglade trying to buy time, but that hatchery looks like it is gonna fall. The Brood Lords are now in effect. Ryung gonna back away, and he's gonna start making a bunch of Vikings in that production tab. 1 on the way so far. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, an attack into that 4th base of Ryung. The Muta is able to get a lot of damage done, but gonna be backing away.
Not able to finish off those planetary fortresses. Mutas took some big hits from the missile turrets and the wooden ones, but now they've exposed this area. If Ryung wants to reestablish his space, he's going to have to camp a significant portion of his army there until he can rebuild those defenses. And look at Ryung's money. He doesn't have any. He's going to have to wait for the mules to kick in on the left side.
Oh no, he's not making any Vikings. Remember, he has those starports, but just doesn't have the resources to make the Vikings. And now the Brood Lords are coming forward. There's a timing here where Moonglade can get a lot of damage done. Denying these 4th bases would be massive for him. Ending the game would be even better, but there is another drop heading to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Moonglade pulling everything back. Ryung realizing this timing exists. He's trying to delay Moonglade as long as possible, and Moonglade trying to throw down some bungles, trying to extend the Banelings and Ultras forward, but Ryung doing so much damage. He's up 183 to 155 in supply. Moonglade, remember what his bank was at? It's gone.
It's all gone. It's all going to come down to if Moonglade can kill this top base here. Muted's down the left side base. Now they have to retreat. Slowly pushing in with their Brood Lords.
Yeah, but again, we're starting to see Ryung really benefit from that mule drop on the left-hand side. Now he can make those Vikings 5 in production. right now, and he already has 3 on the field, going to be up to 8 very, very soon. This timing that Moonglade had with these Broodlords, I'm not sure how long it's going to last.
The command center died. That means Ryung needs to hold this top base. Broodlords are inactive right now.
Yeah, they're...
Oh, the mutas, yes, the mutas are so important because they're the essential
Vikings.
counter to the Vikings.
Yes, Infester's fungal onto the Vikings as well. That can be instrumental. One Infester coming forward here from Moonglade, looking for that fungal, but Ryung looks like he wants to go for it. Tanks are decent against Broodlings. They can just power through and negate them from the battle. One Infester is overextending. The Broodlords are very vulnerable indeed. Ryung coming forward. Meanwhile, the Muta's trying to fend off a drop, it looks like, at the 4th base. Ryung is absolutely everywhere, targeting down the Broodlords. The Broodlords following one by one. Moonglade struggling to come up with an answer in this game 3 of this best of 5, but Ryung is looking untouchable, unstoppable. Moonglade turning around, realizing he has to get something done, but Ryung has so much on the field right now.
Losing those Broodlords, such a big hit for Moonglade. He had to send Mutas back to defend that only mining base he has on the right side. Ryung has maintained his top base for quite a long time. He's trying to retake that left side base. The action is all on this top portion of the map. Very tank-heavy army from Ryung. The Broodlords are essential.
Yeah, but there's only 2 left, and that's being generous because one just died. But Moonglade realizing enough is enough, getting a huge fungal, but can that make it happen? Trying to get the damage up with the Mutas, with the Ultras, but so many Vikings in the air for Ryung, and still plenty of units here on the ground. The Widowmines burrowing down, taking some shot at some Broodlings, and Ryung eventually going to clean up that offensive. The last Broodlord is gone, and there's the GG, well played from Moonglade. Ryung takes the 3-0. What convincing play throughout. Such a solid, strategic, brilliant player. Look out for him in WCS America.
What a beautiful game, man. That was absolutely
What a beautiful
fantastic.
series. People are going to be looking at results and say 3-0. Okay, I'm not going to watch those. Those were
Moonglade.
bad games. 3-0, yeah. That's not the case.
I love how he went Muta heavy, and you really used those so much to keep attacking the economy of Ryung. But in the end, Ryung was able to really solidify his defenses and hold that topmost base with 4 missile turrets. He had 3 Widowmines there. He was able to mine from there for quite a long time.
Yeah, just brilliant play there for Ryung throughout that series. And again, we gotta give credit to Moonglade. He could have won any of those games. It felt like both of these guys are so evenly matched. So evenly matched. And any one of them could have advanced on to win that best of 5. But that being said, Ryung taking victory over Moonglade 3-0, just showing just how strong of a player he is. If I had to characterize his play in that series, it's just the cost efficiency. Every single game, having ridiculous medevac drops, denying expansions, being very aware of his opponent's tech switch, his opponent's willingness to take additional expansions, identifying where those are, and again, denying them, controlling his army perfectly. Ryung is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he'll be playing the winner of our next match, which is coming up next, guys. It's going to be Hero versus Alicia. It's going to be a best of 5 to see who's going to advance on to the next round of WCS America. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have plenty of StarCraft 2 coming your way. Axel Toss and Axlive here doing some coverage for WCS America. Rotterdam and Mr. Binner will be coming up next with Hero versus Alicia. Stay tuned.